You're watching Sports Vibe TV. Today we're here with Kevin Kilbane. Kevin, we've got the Capital One Cup just behind us, but I actually want to start with Ireland and qualifying for Euro 2016. How proud are you to see that happen?
Very proud, yeah. I think it was a great achievement. I think of the two legs against Bosnia, it was actually very comfortable of the two legs, which is surprising, to be quite honest with you, considering, you know, I'd played in so many playoff games where we'd had a little bit of success and we'd had a lot of heartache throughout my own personal experience of the playoffs. So to see the team, the way that they played from a defensive side, they were excellent. Creative side in the second leg, they were excellent. John Walters, again, he's had such a good campaign, and he probably deserved his 2 goals that he got on the night against Bosnia. But overall, yeah, it was a fairly comfortable two-legged evening. I think Martin O'Neill deserves a lot of credit for it all, yeah.
Absolutely, and it's great to see yet another home nation qualify. What expectations do you have when it comes to the tournament itself next year?
Yeah, I think with us qualifying for this, I think it's teed everything up now with Wales, Northern Ireland, and of course England there as well. It's going to be a great tournament. It's going to be one of I'm hoping, of course, it'll be one of the best, particularly with the amount of home nations that we've got there for it. I think it's. I mean, again, it's teed up. We'll wait for the draw. I think everyone's in a lot of anticipation around the draw, which is in a couple of weeks' time now. And then we can maybe reflect and start to see where you're going to get your points from, where you're going to start to, how you're going to maybe manoeuvre yourself out of the group. But I expect it to be a great tournament. I really do. So many great nations there. And hopefully, for Ireland's point of view, that you can get beyond those group stages and see how long see how far that takes you.
Certainly, anything can happen when you get to that stage. Now, moving on to the Capital One Cup, a couple of your old teams still in the hat. One of those is Hull. Yeah. Tough draw against Man City, but they've already beaten a couple of Premier League sides. Do you think they've got a chance of causing an upset there?
Yeah, I do. I mean, you say about the performances that they've had. Already knocked out Swansea. I thought was a great performance from their own point of view. They've had a little bit of a struggle to get to the stage. You've got to be said at times. Like Atkinson, the first game, I was at that game against Atkinson where they struggled, just got through on penalties, and then of course Rochdale within that as well. So it's not been easy, but I think they're in a good position. I think Steve Bruce has got them riding high in the Championship, so I think he'll always say that has got to be a priority for them. But Steve Bruce invariably doesn't just say or doesn't just target one thing throughout his training. We've seen it last year or the other year when he got to the FA Cup final. And when you get to this stage, you start to have little targets and little goals going forward for yourself. The ultimate thing for them is though they've got Man City, which is a real tough draw for them.
And then of course there's Everton. Now, they probably got to be looking at this as a really good chance of silverware. They've been playing really well this season. Lukaku's firing, he's on form. How do you think they'll get on?
Yeah, I think the Capital One Cup's a real target for Everton now. They've got a tricky tie away from home against Middlesbrough. I know that. I think Roberto Martinez doesn't need me to tell him that, and I think Everton supporters don't need me to tell him that. It'll be a tough game, but there's a real chance for Everton this season. As you said, they're playing really well in the league. From an attacking point of view, they're as good as anyone in the league this season. Gerard De La Feu has been outstanding. Ross Barkley, Romelu Lukaku, they've been the 3 key players from an attacking point of view. But you've also got another attacking dynamic from Seamus Coleman. You've got Leighton Baines that's coming back to fitness now and everything. So within the mix of the side and the dynamics of the side, Everton have got the ingredients of a real strong side going forward. For all the Premier League success that I'm sure every Everton supporter would want, they want silverware. And the Capital One Cup is a big chance for Everton to go and win something this season.
They've certainly got a great chance with that, but of course the race for 4th. Now a lot of people are talking about Tottenham, been playing very well. Liverpool under Klopp look a lot better. Can Everton sneak in there? Because obviously Chelsea have dropped right down. It's difficult to see them coming back from that. Do you think Everton have got that outside chance of nicking 4th?
Yeah, I think they've got as good a chance as anyone, as you say. The difficulty for Everton is probably the spending power that they've got at the club. You know, they can't really compete from a spending point of view with the likes of United, Chelsea, City, Arsenal. That's going to be the difficulty from their point of view. But the way that they're playing, as I said before, they're playing as well as anyone from an attacking point of view this season. They're going to cause a few little surprises this year. They almost got there a couple of seasons ago, so who's to say that they can't do it again? the dynamics of the Premier League has changed an awful lot over the last 10 or 15 years, and again, financially Everton will always be a little bit behind from that point of view unless they get a huge investment from somewhere. But overall, Everton are in a good position. I think they're not too far off the Champions League spots at the moment, so if they can maintain the form, continue what they're doing, I think they'll be in a great position come the end of the season. Yeah,
absolutely. And fourth place is a good race, as is the title race.
Yeah.
Who are your favourites at the moment? Because it seems to be different every week for a lot of people.
I mean, we've even got Leicester City surprising a few teams this season. They're going great, aren't they? You know, they're a brilliant side to watch. You know, the way that they play with such energy, such passion, openness as well about them at times. But they're a great team to watch, Leicester. You throw into the mix, of course, Man City. I tipped them up at the start of the season. I fancied them to win the league. Along with Chelsea as well. Actually, I thought Chelsea, but of course Chelsea have struggled this season. City have had their own defensive struggles at times, but I think they are the team to beat. I think with the money that they spent over the summer, I think whoever finishes above City will be winning the Premier League this year. So I've got to go for City, yeah.
Well, you mentioned Leicester there. I think the man everyone's talking about from their point of view is Jamie Vardy.
Yeah.
Potentially could break Ruud van Nistelrooy's record this weekend. Do you think he can maintain that form and basically guarantee a place, surely, if he can, at the Euros?
Yeah, again, I think he can. I'd love to see him this weekend, particularly with it being against Man United as well. If he can break that record, that's a good thing. But yeah, of course he can continue the form because he's shown it in the last 10 games or so. So he's in a real purple patch. I think he knows that himself, and sometimes you have that as a player, but. I've followed Jamie Vardy over the last 4 or 5 years. I've known where he's come from, and it's been about progression. He's definitely been on the upward spiral, but he's been consistent over that time. He's played really well at times. Last season, I think in the early parts of the season, he was a little bit inconsistent. He was hit and miss, but you were still seeing performances from him that suggested that he was a real class act. So overall, yeah, I'd like him to see his form continue, and if it does, he'll score 25 goals this season fairly easily, and he should be a shoo-in for the England squad in the Euros.
Brilliant. It's been a pleasure, Kevin. All the best.
Thank you. Cheers.